Okay.
All right.
It is September 24th, 2024, and I am talking with a gentleman by the name of Dan, who I have learned had a problem with meth.
Oh, meth. I thought you said map.
Oh.
Let's start over.
I didn't mean.
I didn't understand that.
First of all, is that what you call it? Is it methamphetamine?
Yeah, meth is correct. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, tell me, like, what is it like on meth? The closest I could ever know, like, for my own person, would be when I was on painkillers for some period of time, and I know the way that high-level narcotics felt to me. Like, how does it compare to that, or like being drunk, or like what's it like?
Dopamine or whatever to your brain. There's the people that smoke it. It's a different level. You know, they're like always high, whatever. People that snort it, it's more or less of just being like an upper, like a stimulant, more than it is anything else.
So you were a snorter, not a smoker.
I never smoked it.
So is it similar to cocaine then?
Yeah, I would say so.
So it's not like
you're assuming I've done cocaine.
No.
I'm
just saying, but it's not like alcohol. It's kind of like
No. And it's not. I mean, you might get a bit disoriented and have the effects of whatever, but it's not like a true, like a high or a hallucinogenic or anything of the sorts. It's more or less, you're just up and going. People do it when they drink a lot, just to keep going, keep partying. Probably even not as drunk when they do that.
Well, I know that, like, it definitely can create high performance. I'm not advocating, by the way. I'm just saying because, like, I had a guy that worked for me one time, and I needed him to, like, dig a ditch.
Yeah.
When he was on it, he was faster than any backhoe or any machine on the planet. But when he was off it, he wouldn't show up. He couldn't function. He was a mess. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, like I found myself thinking, like, man, I hope this guy's on meth today. You know what I mean?
My girlfriend would clean the house all night, it'd be spotless.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Isn't it so weird? So what makes it addictive? Like, what is it? The result, or is it just the pure chemical, or like why did you end up? Well, first of all, before we act about, why did you stay on it, or why did you take it? Why were you into it? Personally,
you get addicted in the sense of being needing it to have energy. I mean, if you're doing it on a regular basis, you'd be lethargic without it, probably, or sleep for 24 hours, etc. You'd be like totally down. So if you've been doing it, keep going, you would keep doing it.
So it goes from, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but does it go from an initial phase of like, I'm high and I feel good, to now it's necessary to feel normal?
Yeah, sure.
Is that kind of like that?
Yeah.
And
I think that's fair.
Is meth similar to other drugs where you have to keep upping the dosage over time, or no? Or is it kind of stationary?
You probably have some tolerance to where you would increase it, but it pretty much still gets the same effect regardless. I mean, you're not going to sleep on it, but yeah, I'm sure you can do more and more. I don't know about people that smoke it, but
you said, I think you said you had used it in conjunction with alcohol.
Oh, everybody does.
Okay, what does that effect do? What does that do?
It just keeps you up and going. I mean, you drink all night if you wanted to.
Oh, so you could get the effect of being drunk, or that, but it would last longer? Is that the idea?
Well, you probably wouldn't be as drunk.
Oh.
People used to say that they could drink all night, etc. It would keep you going. You'd, still be ready to go, partying, whatever. It would probably keep you from being sleepy drunk. You'd be wide awake drunk, ready to go more.
Now, have you ever had like a bad experience with it?
Oh, sure.
Like bad experience, like either jail or hospital or anything like that?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I definitely got in trouble when I was doing it to keep going when I had the heart issue.
Wait, so describe this situation.
Well, when I was having trouble, my heart blockage, I was doing it to keep going. To keep not understanding what was wrong with me physically, I was doing it to maintain.
My gosh. So,
yeah.
In other words, you might have been thinking you were lethargic due to the drug,
well,
and really you had the heart.
I knew there was something wrong with me physically, but I was doing it just to keep going because I had zero energy. I mean, zero. And so I was doing that which added a lot of confusion to trying to understand, or for the hospital understanding why I was in there.
Right.
Because at first, I think they just figured I was, victim of drug stuff or something. They thought I'd been like drunk and I wasn't, so it was a little confusing, but.
So what would you tell people, let's say friends or family members that have not done meth? What would you tell them that they don't understand about somebody that's taking it? What do they get wrong?
I don't know.
Because like
They weren't really aware that I did anything like that.
right, because like like there's a obviously with any illicit drug or most drugs, right? There's a stigma attached to it.
Yeah.
Like oh, that guy's really messed up or really what
Yeah.
like but you seem pretty put together.
Nobody
You know what I mean?
knew that I was
Right.
I mean, after the fact, you hear a comment or two like, I thought something. I could tell there was something. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Yeah, they're just saying that now.
Yeah. I mean, for example, right now, you wouldn't know I just did a line before we came in here, right?
I would not. No idea.
Oh, okay, just checking.
I would-
I didn't, but.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know. You
No.
could've told me. No, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just always wonder because like, it's just so easy for everybody to judge everybody.
Oh, sure.
Do you know what I mean? And I just,
And there's people that do it
You know
where
what
you
I mean?
can tell they're just doing it. It's one of those things like cocaine where people would do what they had, do everything they had, whatever. Where like coke, people would buy coke, they would do the entire quantity of it and then walk around all yacked out and whatever. I would do like minuscule amounts, just keep going during the day, so I wouldn't be like that, so people
Right.
wouldn't know it.
but it's also like the stereotype. Like I'll give you an example. Like if I go to somewhere in rural America and I go by some trailer park and there's a guy doing meth, right?
Sure.
As opposed to I go by some country club in the upper New York
Right.
and there's some rich guy doing cocaine, right?
Sure.
There's two totally different stigmas. One could be this
Right.
guy's a loser, one's this guy's a spoiled guy. But there's a lot of presumptions are made, like this guy's still
Sure.
smart and well educated, this guy's dumb and doesn't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And a lot of
it's just weird.
smart guys that are doing that, they end up being the guy in the trailer park later.
Right.
So it just depends on how you control it.
But it's just stereotype aside. The guy in the trailer park could have an IQ of 130, and this guy could have an IQ of 90, but just the optics of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the drug that was chosen.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird.
And, there's people that are addicted that they'll just do whatever they can get their hands on and become a wreck and be obvious to the whole world.
Right.
And then there's others that you would never know.
Well, like I remember also that there's a sort of and I think this is in large part true, but I know a lot of people that did meth, they're known for like stealing, to like, go get money so that they can, but it's not a very expensive habit, right? It's not like
Not
it's
really.
like it's
No, but
other drugs.
those people that did it in quantities like that became addicts would end up without jobs, etc. And they had to get money from wherever they could.
Right.
You're talking to people who ride the bikes around without teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
They don't maintain jobs. They go overboard. They fuck up. So
Right.
they have to get money wherever they can, and they'll steal whatever. And it doesn't take a whole lot. They just, they can steal some $5-10 they can get for it and get their next fix probably. But
Right.
yeah, that's part of the byproduct of when your world collapses because of what you're doing.
Right.
Because it would not take anybody that had a job. They could do that and pay for it without any big
Without
deal.
any problem, right?
Yeah. I knew people that used to work
So-
all the time.
So what would you say is like I assume you don't recommend it, but or what are your thoughts on, on it as a, you know what I mean? Like,
It'd be a better place without it.
okay,
I mean, for sure. Coke didn't benefit anybody really. It just,
right,
social drug at the time. But, I don't know anybody except drug dealers that were benefited by
right,
coke, meth, etc. And meth wrecks most people. Literally wrecks them.
it does, most
Yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you hear a lot of it, lot of people like that are on that. It's owning them. They end up
with
jail
absolutely
or
nothing. Yeah.
homeless or
Yeah.
you know
Losers.
It ends up being in a bad spot. All right.
Absolutely. Worse than alcohol for sure.
Oh wow. So is there anything you would want to say to anybody that has done it or would consider doing it or anything like that?
Well, I mean, if you haven't, there's no benefit in trying it.
If you haven't, don't even bother.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point? I mean, nobody gets hooked on something they haven't tried.
Right.
So.
Is it one of those things that where people basically just get into it because they happen to be at a party somewhere and it happens to be there?
I don't think anybody went ever by themselves out and found somebody and can you get me this? It's always a friend or somebody
Something
else.
social.
It always. There's nobody that's ever. In
Everybody's
my opinion,
doing it.
there's nobody that's ever just gone out on their own like lonely guy and tried to buy something and go home and do it. It's always a friend or something like that that'll get you to try something.
Okay, last question, and you can answer this however you like. What would you say on just as a net base? What is more dangerous or unhealthy, or just use dangerous? Meth or like alcohol? Which one?
I would absolutely say meth.
Meth.
Yeah.
Because how come? Why is it so much more?
Because it's, for the most part, it just takes you down a path of, most people are not going to have any control over the quantity and how they use it and whatever. Usually it just takes them over completely. Alcohol, most people can
Moderate.
yeah, and be more social. I mean, some people, yeah, they go off the deep end, but with crystal, I'd say most people go off the deep end.
And when you say most, like 90%?
Yeah, easily.
Oh, or more.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think so.
Okay.
I definitely think so. I've known very few people that could just do a little here or there and you wouldn't know or pick up on it. Most people, you can tell, like this guy for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your very candid and somewhat humorous
Maybe
experience.
so.